And down goes another statist, big pharma propagandist that won't be on TV anymore.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
said the boomers that are a class of people that are sadly no longer with us, unironically, because of some of the procedures that Stephen Colbert recommended them to take. All of this is there's a new era of podcasters that unironically also are the new kind of form of resistance, whether they like it or not. Stephen Colbert represented a voice of being specifically anti-Trump. Now, why did his show that a lot of people say was successful was canceled? We're going to try to answer that. But now there's a whole new breed of information, entertainment that is being consumed in a way that I think is a lot more honest, that also now is turning against Donald Trump. What in the world is going on here? As of course, we're going to be doing our best to answer that in this particular video. And if you appreciate these type of honest, nuanced conversations that don't just bootlick, subscribe, click the notification button. We appreciate all the time that, of course, you spend with us. This, as just a few hours ago, we got the announcement from Stephen Colbert that his show has been canceled, as a lot of people are responding to this saying the 8 people who enjoyed it are really going to be mad here. And I like this humor. I like those jokes here. But to be quite honest with you, if you look at the ratings, this show that's been going on for 33 years since David Letterman, it's popular, which makes you kind of wonder what's going on here. As of course, Stephen Colbert will still be live for a year, giving his propaganda talking points along with the other late night TV show hosts. But the show now being canceled, I think, enters into a new era of entertainment where podcasters are having the mainstream media's lunch. Now, a lot of people are saying, if the show actually tried to be funny, maybe he would have stayed up here. And again, for most people on the right, it's not funny. A lot of the stuff is just kind of oriented towards boomers, towards kind of propaganda efforts that are low tier. As of course, Stephen Colbert tried to don a mustache in order to maybe try to spruce up his ratings here. Again, this is a man that, by the way, I previously, many, many years ago, when he was still on Comedy Central, had a very interesting conversation. You could probably still watch it on this YouTube channel if it wasn't taken down yet. Talking about the Bohemian Grove, right? Talking about deep conspiracy lore. And when he was on Comedy Central, he was a completely different kind of juggernaut, a completely different political force here, especially during the Bush years. And then he came into this role at CBS News with a totally different personality, a totally different show, a totally different outlook that, of course, was more steered towards what everyone else is supposed to say and do on late night television. And all of them in unison screamed, "Orange Man bad. Don't forget to take the procedure. You need to take it." And just these low IQ propaganda efforts really changed this man into a partisan hack that clearly was going out of his way, just trying to repeat the government statist lines. Orange man bad. Now, Donald Trump wrote that he, quote, absolutely loves that Colbert got fired. His talent was even, quote, less than his ratings. Actually, if you look at his ratings, they weren't that bad. I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next. Has even less talent than Colbert. Greg Gutfeld is better than all of them combined, including the moron on NBC who ruined the once great Tonight Show. Now, why is this happening? According to Elizabeth Warren, CBS canceled Colbert just 3 days after Colbert called out CBS's parent company, Paramount, for its $16 million settlement with Donald Trump, a deal that she calls bribery. Now, why did they have to pay out? Well, they spread fake news on a 60-minute interview where they clearly edited out in order to make Kamala Harris look a lot more competent and concise than she actually was. That clearly is something that they found themselves implicated in, and that's why they settled. As right now we are seeing people are, oh, how dare Donald, how dare this company settle with Donald Trump. Colbert called this settlement, quote, a big fat bribe on air. This, as a lot of the big companies here like Paramount are trying to do a merger with Skydance Media, which requires approval from the government and the Trump's FCC. So clearly, I think there's a lot of internal politicking here. But the fact that 60 Minutes edited an interview in order to make one politician look good as they were overwhelmingly providing negative media coverage of Donald Trump, I thought was extremely unfair. This, as now we enter into a new era, as Axios is calling this the MAGA-friendly manosphere. No, it's the podcasters. It's the people that are not editing interviews, not faking them, not taking orders. Well, some of them are now. Some of them are being bought off left and right. But the biggest ones can't be bought off because their call to fame was, of course, through being honest. And there's a lot of people being honest right now that are also, unironically, calling out Donald Trump here in ways that I think are absolutely needed and absolutely genuine. As a lot of people now are getting their wires mixed up, like, no, Stephen Colbert hated Trump, he's bad. It's not just who you hate, it's the exact reason why. And there's now a long list of influencers, whether it's Shane Gillis, whether it's Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon. We're going to be playing clips for those guys and their reaction. Before we do that, though, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. Here at the Radowski Castle, we are brewing up our tea. We have microplastic-free organic tea. We still have only 11 left, by the way, of the lemon ginger snap here. So they are going fast. We already sold out of the peach tea, white peach tea. Super flavorful, super good. As, of course, our tagline here is don't get tea bagged. As tea bags release an incredible amounts of microplastics. We made sure it's loose leaf. We made sure it's microplastic-free packaging. We made sure it's available to you in a way that actually is good for you. As, of course, we're brewing it. I'm going to put it in my refrigerator. I'm going to drink it, and I'm like, okay, I could use a little bit of sugar. I'll put a little bit of agave in there, or honey, or maple syrup. I'll decide what I want to do, but that's the way to do it, okay? I used to drink iced teas all the time. When I was growing up, Polish people love teas. We always, as soon as we come over to someone's house that's Polish, tea, got to drink it now. Piping hot, now. It's just the little rules. We don't know why, but you just got to follow the rules. Unless the big bag tea bagger filled with microplastics comes in and injects it directly into your veins, which you should not be doing. And that's why our logo is this happy guy here that reads, Sip Happens. Don't get tea bagged. And listen, once you get the tea, you'll like it. We reduced the price. And I think, everyone always has coffees. Why are you doing coffees? Why when we could do teas? Some people just love coffee. Some people love both, but some people can't have coffee, and they usually rely on tea for their little hits of caffeine throughout the day here in order to, of course, boost up productivity, overall happiness, and personal well-being. I like ginger and lemon because it's also just really good for you, and we sourced it from the best place possible. So get it right now, wearechange.shop, and support us at the same time. Now, let's continue on with these quote, MAGA-friendly manosphere. As Axios writes, they just turned the heat on Donald Trump over the Epstein scandal. No, they're just honest, genuine people. Vast majority, a lot more honest, a lot more genuine than the corporate media that are just who-was of the establishment. And when they see something that's wrong here, and this is what I love to see here, because MAGA is not a cult. This whole movement about making America great again, this whole movement that podcasters rally behind Donald Trump in order to support him, in order to put him in this position of power, was done through full-on real conversations. Now, this is the good part, is when those conversations, those campaign promises aren't kept, the same people are actually smart enough to remember, hey, you said you're going to do this. You never did this. What the hell happened here? As Theo Vaughn, just wrote, yeah, what changed, as he posted this clip with him and the Vice President of the United States, who at the time was still campaigning.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Yeah, it is there, JD. Yeah. As right now, you're oddly quiet about this entire situation here. And Theo Von here going back to this, be like, yeah, this is what you told me, dude. And listen, this is right now the whole Epstein saga. It's far more significant than a lot of people make it out to be. I saw other people coping, but there's some poll numbers here that we asked some boomers, and they don't care about it. They don't care. No one cares. Listen here. I would be nice to believe, and that's what you might want to believe. But in all actuality, vast majority of people do give a damn about some of the most powerful people in the world being a part of a blackmail, extortion, trafficking operation. I mean, that's pretty much clear as day here. It's not that complicated. It's like, hey, this is a story that's been going on for a long time. As Theo Von was just recently even asked by TMZ about this at the airport, and this is what he had to say.
What do you think?
Well, I just think that, the Epstein thing, yeah, it's like I think people just don't believe that the government works for the people anymore. And it's really just like, and maybe it never has, right? And maybe I'm just a romantic or whatever, hopeless, political romantic or human romantic. I don't know what I.
And then he went off to make statements about Gaza. That triggered a whole bunch of people. Like, here's Qatari. How dare you truly have an opinion on a matter that's not the status quo. And that's the big difference here, okay? Because Stephen Colbert, he says what they tell him to say, and you can see that through this major shift from Comedy Central. So this is the kind of status propaganda show. You don't have that on podcasters that aren't just holding their allegiance to power. All right, they understand that they are the power. They are the givers of power. They are the ones that can make or break. They are the gestures that are extremely powerful. And right now, they're making fun of the king. They're making fun of the king in ways that are extremely inconvenient to the king. I would say when it comes to actual policy, actual decision-making, they are far more impactful than the squabbles and insanity of Stephen Colbert's little emotionally unhinged rants. Joe Rogan is another one. Joe Rogan, I think, is on top of the hill for all these podcasters who kind of set the way here. And, he was just recently talking about how, there's videotapes. Now you're telling me there's no videotapes. Are you freaking kidding me? And he specifically had the FBI director just on his show. And he was like, yeah, I didn't push back. Some people were mad at him for not doing that. But then he was like, what do you expect?
There was like thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Kash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. As of course, that right there tells you everything you need to know. Tim Dillon, another one that has been ranting and raving. All these guys, by the way, interviewed, endorsed, supported Donald Trump. All right. So to see them actually have some scruples about them, it's a good positive sign because they're not like the corporate media that could just be bought off or silenced and made to shut up. They're the ones, a part of the many important critical voices right now that the vast majority of people are starting to listen to more and more and more and more. They're getting off the boob tube. No one's watching the tube no more. They're going to individuals one-on-one, and they're hearing unredacted, unrestricted, uncensored forms of commentary that don't give a damn about political allegiance, but give a damn about the actual truth and the actual relationship of the content creator and the consumer. And that's something that, of course, we prioritized here for an extremely long time. I always think, look, this has been my notion. Growing up as a kid, I'm like, man, this internet thing's going to take off. I need to be doing something. I need to be creating content. And then I'm like, okay, this AI stuff's going to take over. The last few things that are actually going to exist is legitimate peer-to-peer conversations from real legitimate people that robots can't fulfill. That's going to be the last thing that the robots fulfill, I think. When they do that, game over. But at least I'll be hanging out. But the thing that I'm always questioning myself on in this career. It's like, listen, if I lie, if I shill, if I promote a product that's horrible or bad or hurts people, or if I have a group come to me and they say, hey, we want you to change your opinion on this, we'll give you this check. And there are some people that do this. I know a bunch of people that already do this. Shame on those people. There was a big scandal with some of them. They don't deserve your attention. But I know if I hurt my audience, if I screw over my audience, I'm not getting my audience back ever. And that's great. And I prefer those pressures over the pressures of, here's the check, say this, B. You're like, who the hell are you talking to? I work for you. I work for you one-on-one, and I prefer that. And that's the big difference between the podcasters and the horse stream media.
It's on the table. The other thing that's on the table that the media is now running with, bless their heart, is that nothing happened. That's actually a theory, that Epstein was like a creep, and Trump even said, this creep. A creep is a guy that goes up to a woman at a bar and goes, how's your husband? I'm a big fan of that guy. That's a creep. A creep is not a guy that imports a 14-year-old from the Balkans to be...
That's not what happens, okay? It's pretty clear here. Again, that type of communication, that type of conversation is something that you'd never, ever see Stephen Colbert have here. As, of course, Andrew Schultz also. And again, I disagree with the overall kind of political assessment now of Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz, as a lot of them have moved very much to the left now. They kind of always were, coming from like LA and New York City. And I might disagree with them, but at least I get to hear them out. And that's something that's still in this kind of media atmosphere is like, okay, I could actually listen to someone that I disagree with and we could have a legitimate conversation and I could actually think through things instead of being told what to believe, who to listen to, and how to feel. These guys are like, this is how I feel because of this. Whatever you feel, you feel.
And the reality is, and I don't know, but this is what it seems like. It seems like the U.S. intelligence apparatus, i.e. the CIA, the FBI, was in on it.
Mossad.
And in order to out this list, in order to out the blackmail operation, they would be outing themselves for running a child sex ring to incriminate and
hold on. I heard this one. This is a good one.
to incriminate and compromise powerful figures in our country. Bare minimum.
This other guy's a little slow here. I've heard this one. Literally, that's what I've been screaming about for like 15 years. It's been going on for quite a long time there. And listen, now, I mean, the flagrant having individuals like Sagar and Jetty on, that's big here. All right, that's huge here. As of course, he don't hold anything back. I mean, he went into some of the more kind of real aspects and details of this.
2002.
Yes.
Very important year in the Epstein story. 2002 is when journalist Vicky Ward, she works here in New York City, Vanity Fair magazine.
This is the Vanity Fair
Vanity
article.
Fair. This is the
Yep, and they buried it. And so did, of course, the other three-worded channel. By the way, just fired Stephen Colbert. I wonder how all of this just comes full circle there.
very first premier magazine to say, who is this guy?
Yes.
Graydon Carter, the legendary Condé Nast editor, king of New York society, basically works with Vicky and says, hey, let's go write about this Epstein figure. Vicky eventually uncovers evidence of the young women trafficking, of the intelligence community ties, and all of this in 2002. According to Carter, somebody put a bullet, I think it was either outside of his house or wherever he was, and a dead cat to intimidate him while he is investigating the Epstein story. Any mention of his intelligence ties, which he's confronted with directly, of the sex trafficking and the pedophilia accusations, and all of it is dropped from the Vanity Fair article. It shows his power to shut down Graydon fucking Carter, his power to bring the Condé Nast empire to bear. 2000.
Yep. Who has that power? According to Donald Trump, he's just a nobody. He's just a regular Joe there. And then Tucker Carlson had Daryl Cooper on, talking about more of the foreign government connection there. I was going to play this clip. I didn't have time. I'm going to save it for another video. I also wanted to talk about just the weird things. I'm going to do another video. This is going to be the next video. A digital forensic expert now is saying that the original Epstein video is not even more edited. Yeah. As right now enters more weird, bewildering statements from Donald Trump and now Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna that's talking about, no, this is the most transparent administration ever, as they're now saying, yeah, we'll ask a judge for some records. Maybe the judge will approve it or not. She's like, yes, this is 4D chess, phase 3. It's going to be the coup d'etat. What are you talking about? What do you like? They're contradicting themselves so insanely here. I'm going to address that matter because it's like super embarrassing for the Congresswoman and for the President of the United States to now contradict each other. They posted a photo. Look, we're in the White House. We're going to do it. We're going to release it. No, they're deleted. No, this is for the chest. No, you're going to get stuff. Okay. All right. You had individuals celebrate. We did it! And I'm like, he's asking a judge to release some files based on a judge's discretion. He's the President of the United States. He can make all this go away right now. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not enough, and it's not going to be enough for a lot of these podcasters that are a lot smarter and not as dumb and not as puppeteered as Stephen Colbert. Shame on Stephen Colbert. He was really smart. He was really brilliant. Comedy Central, he had some restraints, but he was able to go off on a lot of deep lore, conspiracy stuff, really interesting, fascinating conversations that, had some depth to it. And then he goes to this corporate slop and just like totally sells out and chills and changes his personality, changes who he is, and then just totally becomes a vessel for the corporatist state. So sad. And now he's fired. Probably because of lawsuits, but whatever. I love you guys. Get yourself some tea. We got some great tea. Listen, people drink tea all the time. Lots of tea out there. Filled with crap. Ours isn't. Make sure your huevos are happy. By getting them. No microplastics. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.